Summer 2026 is officially here, and honestly, it might be one of the most stacked anime seasons in years. From legendary finales to brand new anime nobody saw coming, there is a lot to watch this summer, so if you still haven't figured out what you're watching, these are the 10 most anticipated anime of summer 2026. Most romance anime are about teenagers confessing feelings in school hallways. Smoking behind the supermarket with you is something completely different. Imagine being so down bad that you spend every night talking about your crush to your crush. This guy is a 45-year-old corporate zombie surviving on caffeine, nicotine, and pure emotional damage. After work, he sneaks behind a supermarket to smoke, where he meets Tanya, a rebellious girl with piercings, a biker jacket, and a habit of teasing him non-stop. Every night, he vents to her about life, work, and especially his massive crush on a sweet supermarket cashier named Yamada. The problem? Tayama and Yamada are literally the same person. Every morning she hides the piercings, ditches the leather jacket, puts on a smile, and scans his groceries. While he awkwardly flirts without realizing she already knows everything. And somehow, this man never figures it out. The manga won the 2022 Next Manga Award and already has a deeply loyal fan base. If you've ever been completely oblivious about your own love life, this one hits different. Remember when every shonen anime had that one weird power that made the main character special? Ichigo could see ghosts, Naruto had a demon fox, and now there's Jiro, a guy who can talk to animals. While Ichigo spent his time hanging around lost souls, Jiro spends his time hanging around stray cats and dogs. One day, he rescues what looks like an ordinary black cat. Big mistake. For a second, he probably hoped it was going to be like Yoruichi. You know, mysterious black cat turns into something completely different. It was not Yoruichi. The cat turns out to be Reigo, a legendary monster feared by supernatural creatures across Japan. After a deadly encounter, Jiro and Reigo are forced to merge together, turning him into a human-monster hybrid with insane powers. Now he's being dragged into secret battles, hunted by dangerous creatures, and thrown into a hidden world he never knew existed. Honestly, Black Torch feels like a classic 2000s shonen that somehow got lost in time and finally found its way into 2026. If you miss the energy of early Bleach, early Naruto, and supernatural monster hunting anime, this one was made for you. Most romance anime treat communication like it's a forbidden technique. Two characters like each other, and somehow it takes 3 seasons, 5 misunderstandings, and a natural disaster before anyone says anything. You and I, our polar opposites, looked at that formula and basically said, yeah, we're not doing that. Suzuki is loud, energetic, and constantly overthinks what other people think about her. Tanya is quiet, awkward, and somehow manages to say exactly what's on his mind without making it weird. On paper, they shouldn't work together. In reality, they're one of the most refreshing couples in modern romance anime. Instead of dragging every problem out for 12 episodes, they actually talk. I know, revolutionary concept. Season 1 became a surprise favourite because the characters felt like actual teenagers instead of romance anime NPCs programmed to misunderstand each other. And if you've been anywhere near anime social media lately, you've probably seen the English dub clips blowing up. Apparently, somebody decided teenagers should actually sound like teenagers, so now you've got characters saying things like, life is lifing. Some fans loved it, some fans absolutely hated it, but everybody was talking about it. Now season 2 is bringing all of that back. The awkward moments, the genuine chemistry. And the real question is what happens when two completely opposite people actually try to make a relationship work. And if the dub team is returning, I genuinely cannot wait to see what lines break the internet this time. You and I are polar opposites season 2. If you're tired of romance anime where nobody communicates, this is the cure. Most anime protagonists see a terrifyingly powerful enemy and immediately run towards them. Tokiyuki sees a terrifyingly powerful enemy and reacts like a normal human being. He runs. The elusive samurai follows a young lord whose entire life gets destroyed after a betrayal wipes out his clan and throws Japan into chaos. Now he's being hunted by some of the strongest warriors in the country. The problem? Tokiyuki isn't the strongest, he isn't the bravest, and unlike most anime protagonists, he's actually concerned about the possibility of dying. Crazy concept, I know. Instead of overpowering his enemies, he survives by doing something nobody else seems capable of, not getting hit. Seriously, while other anime heroes are busy unlocking new forms and screaming the names of their attacks, Tokiyuki is treating every battle like the world's most intense game of tag, and somehow it works. Season 1 surprised everyone with incredible animation, brutal historical battles, and a protagonist who proved that survival can be just as exciting as victory. Season 2 brings bigger battles, higher stakes, and more moments where Tokiyuki somehow escapes situations that should have ended his story about 3 episodes ago. And this series is written by the same creator as Assassination Classroom, which means the writing is already several levels above what you'd expect. Most isekai protagonists get reincarnated and immediately decide to live a peaceful life. Tanya got reincarnated and immediately declared war on that idea. Imagine being reborn in another world as a little girl and somehow becoming the most terrifying person in the room. Before all of this, Tanya was just a cold-hearted salaryman who spent her days climbing the corporate ladder. Then a godlike being got involved, sent her to a world at war, and basically said, "Good luck." Tanya's response? Bet. Now she's leading soldiers into battle, outsmarting military commanders twice her age, and turning entire battlefields into demonstrations of why giving magic to a corporate employee was a terrible idea. The funniest part is that Tanya doesn't even want to be a hero, she just wants a safe desk job. Unfortunately, every time she tries to stay away from danger, her bosses look at her performance and decide she should be even closer to it. At this point, Tanya has become a victim of her own competence. Most people get rewarded with a promotion. Tanya gets rewarded with another war. Season 2 brings back one of anime's most unique protagonists. Larger battles, more military strategy, and probably another attempt by Tanya to secure a peaceful future that somehow makes everything significantly worse. Because if there's one thing Tanya is truly gifted at, it's accidentally becoming everyone's biggest problem. Most anime imagine what the future might look like. Sparks of Tomorrow imagines a future that never happened, set in an alternate version of Japan where electricity never became the world's dominant power source. Society evolved around massive steam-powered technology instead. Giant machines, industrial cities, inventions that feel both futuristic and strangely old-fashioned at the same time. At the centre is Kihachi, a young inventor obsessed with a dream most people believe is impossible, bringing electricity into a world powered entirely by steam. When he discovers clues connected to a mysterious forgotten technology, he sets out on a journey that could completely change the future of his world. But here's what makes this anime different from every other original project this season. Sparks of Tomorrow has been in development since 2018. In 2019, Kyoto Animation, the studio behind this project, suffered one of the most devastating tragedies in anime history. An arson attack that took 36 lives and shook the entire industry. This anime is partly a result of those people's work. 7 years later, it's finally here. Kyoto Animation doesn't make bad anime, they make masterpieces or nothing. Violet Evergarden, A Silent Voice, Clanad, Sparks of Tomorrow is their original Netflix production for 2026. And honestly, knowing what went into getting this made makes every frame feel like it means something. Sparks of Tomorrow, this one is going to hurt in the best way possible. Back in the 90s, Ghost in the Shell was asking questions that somehow feel even more relevant today. What makes someone human? How much of your body can be replaced before you're no longer you? And what happens when technology starts thinking for itself? The story follows Major Motoko Kusanagi, a cybernetically enhanced agent working for Section 9, a special unit dealing with cybercrime, terrorism, and threats that exist somewhere between the digital and physical world. In a future where people's minds can connect directly to networks, hacking isn't just about stealing information anymore. Someone can literally hack a person's memories, identity, or their entire sense of reality, which makes every investigation significantly more complicated. When Science Saru, the studio behind Devilman Crybaby and Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, announced they were handling this new adaptation, the reaction was immediately different. Because Science Saru doesn't cut corners, Ghost in the Shell has been influencing anime, movies, and games for decades. The Matrix literally wouldn't exist without it, and now a new generation is about to find out why this franchise never actually went away. Tomb Raider King. In this world, relics start appearing everywhere, and every single one comes with power that can completely change someone's life. Wealth, influence, destruction level abilities. Naturally, the world goes crazy trying to control them, but Joo-hoon doesn't really care about balance or fair distribution, because he's been here before. After being betrayed and killed, he wakes up with something nobody else has. Memory of the future, which basically turns the entire world into a checklist. Seen that relic before? Know who's going to get it? Stealing it early. What follows is a full-scale treasure war where governments, corporations, and hunters are all competing, and Joo-hoon is already 3 steps ahead, taking everything before anyone realizes what's happening. Now yes, If this is giving you solo leveling energy, that's not a coincidence. Both have overpowered protagonists, regression mechanics, and a world where power determines everything. But where solo leveling is about a hunter climbing a system, Tomb Raider King is about someone dismantling the entire system from the inside. He's not trying to be the strongest, he's trying to make sure everyone who betrayed him loses everything. There's a difference. And honestly, it makes him more interesting. The manhwa has a massive dedicated following that's been waiting for this adaptation for years. Tomb Raider King. If solo leveling left a hole in your watch list, this might be exactly what fills it. You already know Mushoku Tensei, but if you don't, it follows Rudius Greyrat, a boy growing up in a world full of magic, swords, and adventure. But unlike most fantasy stories, this one doesn't give him a clean slate. Every mistake he makes stays with him, every bad decision has consequences that don't disappear after an episode, and every step forward feels like something he genuinely has to earn. What makes this story stand out isn't the setting, it's how human it feels. Rudius grows up, messes up, improves, relapses, learns, and keeps moving forward anyway, not as a chosen hero, but as someone trying to become better while still carrying everything he used to be. Now here's why Season 3 specifically has fans going insane. Eris is coming back. If you know, you know. If you don't know, just understand that her return has been one of the most anticipated moments in this entire series, and Season 3 is finally delivering it. Mushoku Tensei has consistently been one of the best produced isekai anime in recent years. Season 3 continues what many consider the gold standard of the genre. For everyone who said isekai can't have real emotional depth, this series has been proving them wrong for 3 seasons. Mushoku Tensei Season 3. Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War, The Calamity, one of the big 3 finally reaching the end of its original story. If you've been watching Bleach since the beginning, this isn't just another season. This is the final war everything has been building toward, and if you've never watched Bleach before, this is probably the worst time to ignore it, because this is not a slow introduction or a long set-up arc. This is full-scale war from start to finish. No filler, no breaks, no breathing room, just non-stop conflict where every episode feels like a turning point. And for anyone still saying Bleach is too long, compared to other anime, its length is honestly nothing. Naruto has over 700 episodes, One Piece is still going. Bleach? Totally manageable. And 1000-Year Blood War specifically is tight, fast, and completely focused on the final conflict. Not just worth watching, worth every single episode that came before it. The Soul Society is pushed into a war they are not prepared for. And this is where things get insane. We finally get to see the captains go all out, Shunsui Kyoraku stepping up, Kenpachi Zaraki doing what Kenpachi always does, and of course, Ichigo Kurosaki entering the final stage of his journey, the moment fans have been waiting years for. Not holding back, not training arcs, not setup fights, just pure final war energy. Every captain, every fight, every ability pushed to its absolute limit. Old legends return, new enemies arrive with power that changes everything, and every single battle feels like it could decide the outcome of the entire war. This isn't nostalgia, this is the conclusion of one of anime's biggest stories, and the Calamity pushes it even further. Bigger battles, higher stakes, and an ending that brings everything full circle. The hype is already here, and after everything this story has built toward, this is the final stretch. Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War, The Calamity. This is it. And that's the 10 most anticipated anime of summer 2026. Ranked. From adult romance nobody saw coming, to brand new worlds, to legendary finales that have been building for decades. This season genuinely has something for everyone. If this helped you figure out what to watch this summer, hit subscribe. I drop lists like this every week, and I genuinely don't want you missing the next one. And if you want to know which romance anime from earlier this year actually delivered on their promise, check out my previous video, right there. Trust me on that one too.